As such, Hadoop provides two basic components, that is HDFS for storage and Yarn for resource management. And within Yarn, it has libraries to execute the programs which are made of MapReduce methodology. Additional to this, a number of other components got developed and they were contributed to the Apache Foundation. And each component serves its own purpose. Simple example, there was a component called Hive developed by Facebook and contributed to the Apache Foundation, which interfaces with a language called Hive query language, which is very similar to the structured query language that we use within the database. It was developed with the intention of making the usage of Hadoop ecosystem by the people from database background. The same way, Yahoo developed a component called Pig. Later it was contributed to the Apache Foundation. It uses a language called Pig Latin. Again, that's going to use a English-like language, which is very easy for the data scientists to understand and leverage the Hadoop power of distributed storage and distributed computing. Later, there were requirements to do in-memory computing. Then Apache Spark got evolved, and additional to that, as a part of Hadoop, there was a component called Hadoop Base, which acts like a NoSQL database, and it was forked and made as a separate project. It was called Hadoop Base, that is HBase. And lot other components got evolved like Cassandra, and to do all the management or to do the coordination, there was a component called Zookeepr. Whenever I have a number of master to provide high availability, I need a component to do the coordination between multiple masters to decide who should be the active and who should be the standby system, as well as to register and coordinate various services when it is being offered. There was a component called Zookeepr. The similar way, other components like Mahout, specifically designed to do machine learning analytics, and Storm to do streaming analytics, and to bring in data into the Hadoop ecosystem, we have a number of components like Flume, Scoop, and Kafka. Flume, it would facilitate to harvest the data from internet or any other website which exposes its functionality through the REST API, or a number of sources. It can read the data and harvest the data, consolidate it, and bring it into the Hadoop ecosystem, that is HDFS, or it can drop in as a message into Kafka. Kafka is a distributed messaging system where it can work with n number of systems together as a quorum, and it can provide very high scalability and availability. The similar way, we have other component called Scoop that would facilitate to transfer the data between Hadoop ecosystem and RDBMS. To provide infrastructure and to manage all these components deployed and distributed across different systems, there was a component developed called Ambari. And various components, it comes together and we call that as a Hadoop ecosystem. We are going to discuss in detail about each and every component listed over here, and there are a number of other components which is not listed. We will be discussing about those components as well. As we have huge number of open source components, it's going to be nearly impossible to do the configuration and the setup of all these components and make them to work. And generally enterprises, they would look for someone to provide an enterprise class support rather than going for the open source. That's where the organizations like Cloudera, Hortonworks, Mapper all got evolved. They give all these packages packed together as a single suite, and I should be in a position to use any of the services that is available within it in an easy go, and I don't need to worry about the support. They provide enterprise class support on integration or upgrade of this component, whether it is a patch update or any major version update. I should be in a position to do it in a single go, as well as I should be in a position to manage the infrastructure as well as the components and from a single manager or from a single UI. So in short, Hadoop ecosystem is very vast in terms of depth and breadth. We will be discussing in detail about each of these components down the line.